In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I monetize one faceless YouTube channel every single week. And just to show you that I've literally last week monetized a faceless YouTube channel, here we can see the 1st of April on Wednesday. So it's not even a week ago, I've monetized one more channel and this channel has already made me $1,000. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the exact strategy that I'm following to be able to do this every single week and how you can do this too. Now, getting monetized on YouTube is actually hard, like easier, not harder, but easier than it sounds, all right? Now, for the people that don't know who I am, I'm Stefan, 23 years old. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars with faceless YouTube channels. There at the back, you can also see two of my play buttons. I'm currently making round about $30,000 to $40,000 a month and constantly building new faceless YouTube channels. I've made $42,000 with just 2 videos and, scaled the channel from $0 to $48,000 in only 30 days, as we can see right here. And then, I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. I'm not the only one who's getting monetized this fast. If you look at here, for example, Antonin, 20 days stamp, like 2 weeks. Then here, Martin's literally monetized, scaled them up to $31,000 a month. Here, Student, we, took from $200 to $400 a day. Here, a channel absolutely blowing up, and many, many more. Like, you guys can stop this video and scroll through all of these. Now, if you're interested in, getting the same results, check out the first link in the video description, book a call with me, and we'll have a look if I can help you get the exact same results. All right, with that being said, I would say let's get into the video. So the first thing we need to do if we want to start a faceless YouTube channel is to get our channel ready. Now, something you have to know is that shadow bans are real. Now, this has nothing to do with your IP address. Some accounts just have a low trust score. Now, what is a trust score? A trust score is basically how much does the YouTube platform actually trust your account, all right? And some accounts just have a lower trust score than other accounts, okay? Has nothing to do with your IP or any of these kind of things. Just want to get that out. Then, there are different kind of accounts, and I'll show you in a second how you can actually increase your trust score to avoid channels that that don't get any impressions and stuff like that. I'll show that to you. Now, there are different kind of accounts. So I just have to add here one more. So personal, I always forget to add this one, but we have different kind of accounts. So we have brand new accounts, then we have aged channels, we have pre-monetized channels, and we have personal accounts. Brand new channels are YouTube accounts you can just, go ahead now and just create yourself, all right? Aged accounts are accounts that are from 2006 to 2009. You actually go ahead and you buy them. Then we have pre-monetized accounts. These are actually YouTube accounts that are already in the YouTube partnership program. That's why they pre-monetized. And then we have personal accounts. Personal accounts are kind of the best YouTube accounts you can get. Now, what is a personal account? A personal account is a YouTube account that you use to watch YouTube videos, right? That's a personal account. Now, which one should you use? I would firstly not recommend you guys to start with a pre-monetized. So I would recommend you guys, if you have a personal account, 100 million % go with a personal account first, then a brand new account, and then only aged accounts. These are kind of the ways I would kind of go ahead. Now, how do you actually warm up your account to increase your trust score? Now, you have to know that you only need to warm up a few accounts. So you only need to warm up a brand new account and a aged account. These are the only accounts you need to warm up. Now, how do you actually warm these accounts up? So you use this account as a normal user, all right? So as you would usually watch YouTube, you just use it for that. Now, you watch 1 to 2 hours of content per day. You subscribe to some channels, you comment under some videos, you like some videos. But important, do not act like a bot, because once you start acting like a bot, that is where YouTube is actually going to flag your account and your trust score is going to fall. Now, you do this for 1 week to lower the risk of a low trust score, or, to lower the risk of being shadow banned. Now, this is not 100% proof. That's what I can tell you here. But this for sure helps to increase the trust score. All right, but this does not work every single time, but we still do it every single time. Now, a quick tip for this, try to have 1 or 2 accounts ready at all time, because once we find a niche, we want to act on that niche as fast as just possible, which brings me to the next point of actually finding a good niche. Now for this, we want to open an incognito window or even create a brand new channel just for niche research. Niche research is a massive reason why I am able to monetize so many channels every single month, right? Now a must-have tool for niche research is NextLev. I'll link it in the video description. It's like 13 euros a month. You'll even get like 20% discount or something. It's a must-have, super helpful. But before we get into, actually looking for a niche and me showing you how to look for a niche, let me show you what the criteria for a good niche is. Now, the criteria for a good niche is there are under 5 smaller channels creating content in this niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply. One of the most important metric on YouTube, all right? I've made a lot of videos on these two metrics already, but demand is basically what the viewers want to see and supply is how much content is there already. Now we want an imbalance between these two. We want that there is a lot of demand but almost no supply. That's a gap in the market and that's an opportunity you need to learn to spot, all right? Now, very often these channels, like these kind of niches, have no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. There are no smaller channels failing in those specific niches. If there are a bunch of channels failing, I would rather, move away, because you have to understand that if there are a bunch of channels failing, you have to ask yourself like, hey, what would make my channel special for me to be able to actually succeed in this exact niche? Then the niche is not older than 6 months. In most cases, if the niche is older than 6 months, there will be channels with over 100,000 subscribers and there will also be a bunch of smaller channels failing. Then I can actually create better content than my competitors. This is very important because if you can't create better content than your competitors, why should viewers watch your channel? Now, you can also just go ahead and create longer content and provide the viewer with more knowledge or more info, right? Not only that, if your videos are longer, and we'll cover that a bit later, if your videos are longer, you can keep someone on YouTube for a longer period of time, which is obviously a very nice thing for YouTube, because then YouTube can show more ads and make more money. So YouTube will push your video way further. All right. Then am I actually interested in this niche? This is not a must as long as you build a team that actually has interest in this specific niche. Then is the niche monetizable? Otherwise you can't make any money. And then huge bonus if you can actually post long videos in that niche. Now, very important, you have to give yourself enough time to do niche research and do not rush the process, because otherwise you will do this twice. Trust me, all right? You do not want to rush the process. You want to take your time and do it correctly. Now, how do you actually set up like your dummy account or your niche research account? Very easy. So what you do is you basically go ahead and you create an account. Like I'll just show you in an incognito account now, and you literally go ahead and you look up anything you're interested in. So for example, top 10 biggest animals, just as an example, like literally anything you are interested in. And then we're looking for faceless content. So here, just as an example, we can see this video is faceless. So we'll literally just scroll through this, have a look if this video is faceless. Yes, it is faceless. And then we'll click on that video. And what we do now is we actually subscribe to this channel. We like this video because we want to show YouTube that we want to see faceless content on our suggested bar and also our YouTube homepage, right? So what you will be doing to do niche research is you will be doing a lot of scrolling and watching YouTube to kind of find a niche, all right? I would always recommend you guys doing this like for at least 30 minutes or something a day, because, the more you do niche research, the more the kind of higher the chance that you will find a extremely good niche that you can just jump into and, explode a faceless YouTube channel. So I do a lot of niche research every single day. I have a lot of time to do it. That's something I have to say as well. But you don't need like 12 hours a day to run a faceless YouTube channel, right? If you do 30 minutes of niche research a day, that is more than enough to find a really good niche. So let's see. Let's click on this one. This is also a faceless channel. I have a bunch of big ones. Usually I like to click on rather smaller channels. That's why NextLev and vidIQ come in very handy, because you can actually see the subscriber count here on the side, right? So let me click on a few more channels. Here, this one, and then let's go to my YouTube homepage, and then we will see a bunch of faceless content. So here, faceless, okay, not faceless, but faceless, faceless. So everything is faceless, and this is the powerful way of the new YouTube homepage is that we can use it to, find a lot of different new niches that we would never be able to find if we wouldn't, do niche research on our YouTube homepage. And I'll show you very quickly my own niche research account, just opening it up. Now, while I'm opening it up, if you guys are interested in working close with me, as I've said, book a call, first link in the video description, right? I'll help you with this whole process, by the way. So this here is my own niche research account, as we can see right here. Now, on my account, you will also just see faceless content. So, for example, here is a channel that I don't know. This channel has 70 videos, 20,000 subscribers. And if we go to here, we can see this channel got 1.9 million views. And let's go to analytics. And this is, again, where Next Level comes in very, very handy, because we can now here click on channel revenue. And Next Level is actually going to show us what this channel is earning, which is super, super cool. So make sure to check it out. I'll link it in the video description. Because, it gives us some more data we can then work with and then take informed decisions if we want to really go into a niche or if we rather skip on the niche, So this is always learning. My videos are always completely uncut. So if you are very impatient, super sorry about that, but it's still loading. Let's wait for it to load. Yeah. Okay. So here we can see this channel is probably just got monetized. So this might not be as accurate right now, but it has some glitches today. But here we can see this channel has an $8 RPM, which is absolutely insane. That means that this channel here probably made around about $16,000 until now, which is pretty good. Now you can decide like, hey, do I want to go into the niche or not? If you like the niche, you actually go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So this is how I do niche research. Now, once I find a niche, something that is extremely important, and this is something where many people go wrong, is they do not understand that speed is key. If you do not have speed on YouTube, if you cannot make quick decisions, you will have an extremely hard time on YouTube. You must make very quick decisions. So if you see this channel and you say like, hey, okay, I want to actually go into this niche, I don't want you to wait 5 weeks to go into this niche, because you have to keep in mind that YouTube is player versus player. And if I see this exact same niche on my YouTube homepage and I see, damn, okay, this niche is doing really, really well, I'm not going to wait 5 weeks until I go into this channel. I'll have the first video posted tomorrow, right? And that is why it is extremely important that you have a team that can implement very, very quickly. And what we have and how we work is that we have a specific team that can do videos about anything, right? It's just a few editors that can do videos about anything. So if I find a specific niche, I can let them know like, hey, I need these kind of videos tomorrow. I don't need them to be fancy. I need them like just very basic videos, but I need them tomorrow, right? And I'll have the videos tomorrow, which I can then post the next day. So you need to have a team that can implement extremely quickly. So go ahead, after this video, go ahead and hire people right away and start testing, all right? I'll walk you guys through the testing phase. Now, where do we hire what? So for the script, I usually, especially if I test, I just go ahead with AI, just so I can get these videos done as quickly as just possible. You can also hire a scriptwriter on Upwork. For the voiceover, we use Fiverr or 11 Labs. We can also use GenAI Pro. GenAI Pro is basically almost like 11 Labs, just for way cheaper. So you can see 1 million credits for only $22, which is pretty cheap, I'll link it in the video description. We use this all the time because, it's way cheaper. The voiceovers are still more than good enough. So yeah, then for the video editor, we get them on Upwork or on X, right? On X, you will find more high quality video editors, and on Upwork, you will find more basic video editors. But as I've already explained, we don't need to have fancy videos. If we have very basic videos, but we can be very quickly, we'll always beat the person that takes 5 weeks to post a video. All right. Then for the thumbnail, we usually hire on Upwork or on X, or I just do it myself. Now the thing is with the thumbnail, we need someone who understands a little bit of thumbnail design. Now, for the people who don't want to spend a lot of money on thumbnail designers, I would recommend you guys to either learn it yourself, or, go to Upwork, hire someone cheap and explain exactly to him how you want the thumbnail. Because if you have a thumbnail designer for $5 or even $10, you can't expect that specific person to go ahead and do like a bunch of research and stuff on the thumbnail. All right. So yes, then after we have this, we actually go into the niche testing framework. Now, this is the exact process I follow with every single niche I get into to avoid spending money on videos that will never ever work. So all of you guys know there are channels on YouTube that have like 300 videos, 100 videos, and they're still not even monetized. That's why I have this process here in place, which we follow with every single student. Now, you know, what we do is we do niche research. Then we have our niche. Then we kind of have one account. So we choose which kind of account we want to use, either a new account, a personal account, an aged account, or a pre-monetized account. You guys already know what kind of account what does what. Then we choose 5 to 15 video topics, not 10 anymore. We rather want to choose up to 15 video topics. Now keep in mind that these video topics need to be good. And you have to keep in mind that, you know, with the topics you're choosing, with these 15 video topics we're choosing, we don't want to choose topics very quickly. Like, we want to take our time, because in topics, there's supply and demand as well. And if we pick video topics that have been done 1,000 times, like, YouTube is not going to push the video, and then you're not going to get any impressions. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, once we have the topics, we just want to move very quickly, or we move very quickly, you know, then we write the script with AI, like can be ChatGPT, Claude AI, Google Gemini, whatever you want to use, you can use it as long as you get the script done. Then for the voiceover, we use 11 Labs, or as I've already explained here, Gen AI Pro, more than good enough. Then for the editor, we use freelancers. So I on average pay around about $15 per video. That is because of the volume of videos we are doing. All right. So we're doing a lot of videos, and that's why I only pay $15 per video. Our students on average, because we actually hire editors and content creators for them, they pay on average between $20 and $30 for a video up to 30 minutes, which is still very cheap and unheard of. All right. Then for the thumbnail, we, you know, if you've never done a thumbnail yourself before, I'd hire a freelancer. Here again, we have a really pretty decent thumbnail designer for our students. He charges like $5 or something a thumbnail, and I think that's pretty fair for, you know, he kind of gets a lot of work from our students, which is super cool. But the guy knows what to do, you know. Or you can also do it yourself. As I've said, like, your thumbnail needs to be good. So that's just something you have to keep in mind. Now, once we have that done, there are a few very important things. For example, the video length. We want our video to be 1.5 times longer than our competitor video. So if our competitor video is 10 minutes, we want our video to be at least 15 minutes long. Very simple, because then we can keep the viewer on YouTube for a longer period of time, which again means that YouTube will make more money with our video than their video. All right, very simple. Then for the thumbnail and the title, we don't want to randomly, and this is a big mistake many people are doing, we don't want to randomly pick any kind of thumbnail style to use. We want to actually work with things that have already worked in the past. So instead of just randomly freestyling a thumbnail or title, always make sure that you always use a thumbnail, a title structure or kind of format that has worked in the past. All right. Best is if it has worked in your niche. Okay. Now, once we have that ready, we actually get into the posting phase. Now, people always laugh at me because I say, like, we need to be inconsistent these days. So we post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post. And this we do with all 15 videos. Now, why do we need to be inconsistent? Because we don't want YouTube to think that we are a bot spamming videos. Very simple. Now, one of two things is going to happen. All right. So either, you know, something will blow up. Now, once this happens, then we actually continue to post videos. Now, trust me, if you have a good niche, good video topics, and you post 15 videos, one of these 15 videos should be able to blow up. All right, very simple. Now, in case of this not happening and, you know, you're not getting any views, you do not delete the videos from YouTube. You just leave them on YouTube and you wait, because very often it happens here, like maybe 2 months later or something, where the channel then blows up and then we continue to post videos. All right, so we don't want to just quickly delete the videos. But we always first wait for the channel to blow up after these 15 videos before we continue to post videos. Now, the reasons why a channel might fail, and this is very important, so you can always go back and try to understand, like, hey, what am I doing wrong? What could I do better? Where do I need to improve? And this is very important that you always try to improve, because otherwise you will just start a channel and fail and fail and fail and fail every single time if you don't know what you're doing wrong. right? Now, reasons why a channel might fail is very simple: because of the niche, because of the video topics, because of the packaging, because of the video length, or maybe because you have a bad channel, right? If your channel is bad, you often see that with 0 impressions. Now, if you're getting 0 impressions, you take these videos, you post them to a different channel. If it's still getting 0 impressions, then it's probably the niche or the video topics or one of these other things. And you take these videos and, you just leave them there and you go on to the next one. So in case of a channel failing, you just want to repeat this process as many times as possible and as fast as possible. And trust me, you will find something that works. All right. Now, with that being said, guys, if you're interested in working closely with me, like for example here, this guy who we took from $0 to $8,000 a month, or here $18,000 a month, or here even $4,600 a month, then check out the first link in the video description, book a call with me, and we'll have a look how we can work together and scale it up. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.